A 10-minute call, 10 minutes for the first on course in the $65,000 BrainJuice 4-star Grand Prix qualifier. 11:30 for the top of the order, 51 to show.
If you have, I think we'll be all right for the 11 trips or whatever they're going to see.
Five-minute call, 5 minutes for the first on course. $65,000 BrainJuice 4-star qualifier, 51 in the first round of competition. 5 minutes for our first on course. $65,000 up for grabs in today's four-star Grand Prix qualifier, sponsored by BrainJuice, the #1 natural daily brain
Welcome back to
supplement.
Wellington International.
Proud partner and
We're
major
here
sponsor of
for the
Wellington
BrainJuice
International.
four-star
You can
Grand
find
Prix
BrainJuice
qualifier.
products at Wellington International Concessions
this
or
is
online at
a
BrainJuice.
Four-star qualifier for our Grand Prix that will take place on Sunday.
On your brain.
First into the class will be Cormac Hanley aboard For Dad. This combination jumped in our three-star pre-charity week a couple weeks ago here and had a successful tour, as well as jumping clear in the meter 45 class yesterday. Cormac, of course, comes from a horsey background back in Ireland. Both uncles Carl and Cameron Hanley are very respected in the equestrian industry. And Cormac now riding For Dad in this four-star Grand Prix qualifier. Cormac going over the triple bar at 1 at the Dover Saddlery, then back to the Arion vertical at 2, with a distance down to the Oxer at 3. Nice turn back to the wall. And then nice forward distance down to that butterfly double, just unfortunately having the first part of that double down. This combination started jumping at the FEI level in February of this year. So just learning together and growing, not many 4-stars under their belt. Our course builder has built a really nice big 155 course here today. So it's definitely challenging for our riders. Just having the front bar of that double down also, coming past the in-gate to our big Arthur Mid Vet Oxer. Cormac doing a really good job coming around that bend, keeping his horse together, down into the checkers vertical. And then this is a really big vertical to an Oxer. Unfortunately just having that back bar of the Oxer down. And then a forward strides down to the last Oxer there. Picking up the 12 jumping and 2 time there for Cormac Hanley. Our time allowed is 74 seconds. So just over the time there, picking up 2 time falls also. Next into the ring we have US rider Brian Mulgrew aboard MTM Viv Lala Roof. This is a 15-year-old gelding. This combination have jumped many Nations Cups together. They were a winner at the 3-star Grand Prix in Silo Ridge this year and had a very consistent summer, jumping in New York and now returning to Wellington before the WEF series. Brian is a very accomplished equitation rider as well as a jumper rider. And in 2022, he jumped the World Cup final in Herning, so a very seasoned rider at this level. Just getting the horse into a 4-star before the big 5-stars during season, getting everything together before the season ahead. Brian doing a really good job so far, keeping a good rhythm, constantly keeping that contact with his horse. Really nice into the double verticals, just picking up the second part. Then this turn back here to the big vertical. Just unfortunately having that down and then flowing down to the Oxer there. That distance seems to run a little bit short, so people have to push down it. And then to the double. And just really keeping his connection down to that big Oxer. Just picking up the 12 false there for Brian Mulgrew.
Reference times at 75.07, 73.22. One exceeding, one within from the first 2 combinations.
So 2 gone so far, 1 exceeding the time allowed, 1 within the time allowed. Our course builder has 1 more rider to see before he can make the judgment on which to extend our time allowed or not. And next we have Ansgar Holsker Jr. aboard Good Morning B. This is a 13-year-old bay gelding. This combination jumped at a consistent level at 2 stars and 3 stars in Europe this summer, as well as Oscar winning gold and silver at NAYC in past years. So seasoned rider on the US tours, growing up here, doing young riders, being in the US circuit for many years. You can see him really riding up to these jumps, making sure that his horse is listening to him. This is a 13-year-old, so seasoned in this field. But he's doing a really good job of just making sure that everything comes up nice for him. Really nice over the double verticals. That line rides a little bit forward, so it's important just to make sure that your horse is backed off coming into the double verticals. Doing a really good job so far, coming down to our last line with the vertical to an Oxer double, and then down to our Palm Beach Equine Clinic Oxer. Really nice there. He's giving us a clear, but unfortunately 2 time falls there, and a time of 75.54. So just 2 seconds over our time allowed.
2 on the clock at 75.54 for Ansgar Holtkers Jr. and Good Morning B. First round time allowed will remain at 74 seconds after the $65,000 BrainJuice 4-star Grand Prix qualifier. Delaney Flynn receiving the toe now with the Nama Mia.
Our time allowed will remain at 74 seconds, so that he has chosen not to change it. Next into the ring we have Delaney Flynn aboard Nama Mia. This is an 11-year-old bay mare owned by Windsor Show Stables. Windsor Show Stables purchased this horse back in 2022 from Jessica Burke, and Delaney taking over the ride from Jessica. These two were second in a 3-star Grand Prix in Kentucky, and they have both jumped at a consistent level of both 3-star and 4-star this season. Delaney doing a really good job back to the wall and just getting that forward distance down into the double. That line will ride differently for everybody. Delaney really seemed to have to push her down there and did a really good job of it. Back to that big plank at the top of the ring, and then just a bending line back to the BrainJuice Oxer at 7. And just important to keep collected down to the double verticals. Unfortunately, just having the first part down. Passing our in-gate to our Arthur Midvet Oxer. And then just a tight bend back to that big vertical. And just keeping her rhythm, keeping the horse with her down to this last related line. And unfortunately just picking the front bar of that Oxer down, also picking up a total of 8 falls there for Delaney Flynn and Nama Mia.
So Ariani next with Egypt van TNLZ.
Next we have Brazilian rider Silcio Luis Camargo Anarani aboard Jib Van TNLZ. This is a 11-year-old bay gelding.
11-year-old designers out of Gelding. 4 is also Ariani, with the World Equestrian Games appearance and the top 5 Grand Prix in Lexington and Ocala this season. Our 5th to show for round 1.
This is our 5th to show for round 1. He's competed at the World Equestrian Games in Tryon and also in other locations. So seasoned rider coming in on this horse at a 4-star. Jumped their first 4-star this summer in Ocala. So stepping up the ranks here, moving up on the stars to make sure that the horse is developing. And nice back to the wall, just really having to push down this distance to the butterfly double. Just unfortunately picking up the back bar of the Oxer. Just getting collected back to the big planks at the top of the ring. Really working on getting collected back into the double verticals and did a really good job. You can see him just trying to collect himself a little bit after the double verticals. Just choosing to do a circle to collect himself before jumping over the Arthur Vet Oxer. Just having the back bar of that down. Collecting himself around the bend to the vertical and then pushing down that distance to that Oxer. Down our last line to a vertical to an Oxer. And then our last Oxer again. Just picking up a total of 20 jumping and 22 time falls there. But as I said, it's only their second 4-star. Just working on building that partnership together, growing and, you know, getting experience underneath themselves. This is a big 155 course that's been built today, so it's important to create that relationship with your horse, but also building with experience.
The 12-year-old Dutch bred mare by video Zoroko. Our sixth rider to receive the tone, none clear so far.
Next into the ring we have Caroline Mawhinney aboard Hellier. This is a 12-year-old grey mare. Caroline took over the ride from this in June of 2024 from Lars Kernst. Horse jumped up to a 5-star level with him over in mainland Europe. Newer ride for Caroline, jumping up to the 4-star level here. Just creating that relationship and growing together. She had a really consistent summer with him. And the two of them just really getting to know each other. And Caroline doing a really good job so far. Rode that line really nice. It does walk a bit forward and you see some horses really have to push down there. She did a really good job of just keeping her canter. Just picking up the front part of that double verticals. You're at a slight angle coming down there, so your horse naturally will gather speed coming down at a little bit of an angle to that double verticals. Just picking up the vertical there, but nice canter out of that line to get over the Oxer. And then just coming down our last line at the vertical to an Oxer double, just having the front part of that down to our Oxer, our last Oxer there. Picking up a total of 16 jumping and 2 time falls there for Caroline Mawhinney.
Ireland's Nikki Gallagher now with VDL Nikita Vanderleer. Trying to show for the Santa Rosa group based in Los Angeles. Top 5 finish in the 3-star Grand Prix here just 2 weeks ago in the International Ring. And with the ride aboard the 11-year-old Belgian warm-blood mare by Zaval VDL.
Next into the ring we have Ireland's Nikki Galligan aboard VDL Nikita Vanderleer. This combination were 5th in our Grand Prix here 2 weeks ago during Prix Charity 3-star. This is an 11-year-old grey mare. Nikki doing a really good job so far, just trying to get her out before this big wall. A little bit blind off the bend. And doing a really good job down there. Really having to push down to the distance to get into the butterfly double, just having the second part of that down. You can see Nikki really just encouraging her around down to the BrainJuice Oxer. And then just collecting down to the double verticals. Just having the first part of that down. and then just collecting himself back to the big vertical there. Just having the first part of that double down and then forward distance down to the oxer. Just picking up a total of 16 jumping and 1 time fault there for Nikki Galligan.
16 in the field, 1 on the clock for Nikki Galligan with BDL Nikita then to Luber. Abigail McCardle now with Olympia, then at Eichenhoff.
We have seen 7 so far. We've had 1 to go clear jumping, but picked up the 2 time falls, so just waiting for our clear at both jumping and time. Next we have Abigail McCardle aboard Olympia van de Hekkenhoff. This is a 10-year-old bay mare. This combination were third in a 3-star Grand Prix in Kentucky, and also top placings in Tryon during the fall. Abigail, of course, a seasoned rider, picking up many medals during her youth at NAYC, and now stepping up at the FEI level. Just picked up the second part of that double. The distance there seems to be riding quite forward, so just trying to stretch across is catching people. Just having the first part of that double of verticals down again. I think that's really going to be our bogey fences, are the double of verticals and the butterfly double. Also, that line for the butterfly double rides really forward. The line to the double of verticals doesn't necessarily ride so forward, but you're at a slight angle coming downhill, so it's a little bit harder to get the collection on your horse underneath you for the double of verticals. Just picking up those 2 fences down there and 2 time falls also for Abigail McCardle for a total of 10.
The time 75.43, score 10. And Nicolette Hurt aboard of Pandora, our 9th combination to receive the tone for the first round of the BrainJuice.
Next into the ring we have USA's Nikki Hurt aboard Fandora.
7-year-old German sport horse Samir back to Road 5, followed by the Chatwood Farms. And Nicolette, a Grand Prix winner up in Traverse City this summer.
This is a 11-year-old bay mare out of Kadaru, the 5th, and Fanny Moon. This combination have been growing together. They jumped in our 3-star pre-charity week. Nikki, of course, trained by David Power at Chatwood Farms. Nikki has a really nice string of horses, really giving her a lot of ring time, being able to bring different horses into the FEI classes. Really learning and gaining some experience. She rode that line super nice. It came up really nice for her. And that double seemed to be no issue for her. And it's just interesting to see what she does down here to the big double of verticals. Really keeping her horse with her really, really nice there, clear over the double of verticals. And then just regaining her canter down to Arthemid. Just unfortunately not going to plan there. Nikki seems to be okay, and the horse seems to be okay also. Nikki's back up on her feet, and they're just trying to catch the horse now. He seems to be doing a few laps of the ring. So we'll just take a moment until they catch Fandora. Both horse and rider seem to be up and just exiting the ring. There.
For number 142. $65,000 BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier. We see 9 and we welcome.
We have seen 9 so far in our BrainJuice 4-star Grand Prix qualifier. With no clears yet. Just still waiting on our first clear round. Next we have Elon Blumen aboard Akachu. Elon is listed as the owner of this horse also. This is a 9-year-old bay mare. This combination were the winners of a 3-star speed in Silo Ridge this summer. And of course, Elon being a member of the Blumen family, big equestrian family, based here in Wellington as well as in New York. He rode that line really nice into the double of butterfly double and then back to our plank here. You can see him just keeping up his canter the whole time, conscious of that time allowed. These riders will know where they can make time and where they must be reserved in order to get inside that time allowed. Clear over the double of verticals. Rode that really nicely and then back to the Arthemid Ved Oxer. And just collecting himself back to this vertical and then a forward distance down to the chess oxer. Back to the palm tree double. And then over the oxer. Just picking up the 4 false there in a time of 72.61. So inside of our time allowed, just picking up that 1 fence down.
11th to show, Canada's Tiffany Foster with
Still waiting on our clear after 10 combinations in this BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier. Next into the ring we have Canadian's Tiffany Foster aboard Figure. Tiffany, of course, competed at the 2024 Paris Olympics this year. Also last year in 2023, team silver medalist at the Pan Am Games. Tiffany is the 2nd highest women ranked in the world at the moment, behind fellow Canadian Erin Ballard. This was her horse for the Olympics this year. It's just bringing them back into Wellington, showing them around the ring, getting experience underneath them before the season ahead. Many of these horses would have had time off after Paris and then just getting all the wheels to churning again before the season ahead. Just picking up the front part of that oxer there, just wasn't the distance, ideal distance there, and then down to the double verticals, really nice over them. And then just rolling back to the big vertical there, and then cantering down to the chestnut or the chess oxer. Down our last line, and then just keeping that nice canter down to the oxer. Just picking up the 8 false there for Tiffany Foster. Time is 73.43.
Margie Eagle up next, piloting Jack of Hearts. Partners. The Gladwin's Farm entry here for Margie, 12-year-old Danish Wormlet gelding by Heartbeat. Grand Prix winning combination at Traverse City this summer. Margie also 5th place in this year's American Gold Cup Grand Prix. Should be our 12th to get the start for the first round.
Next into the ring we have Margie Goldstein Ingalls aboard Jack of Hearts. This Dutch Warm Blood is owned by Gladewood Farms. It's a 12-year-old chestnut gelding out of Heartbeat. This combination is a season partnership. They've jumped a bunch together, jumping at a 3-star, 4-star and 5-star level this summer. They were 5th in the American Gold Cup this summer in Traverse City. Margie, of course, jumping the Olympics in Sydney, as well as a team silver medalist at the World Equestrian Games in Aachen. And she has over 200 Grand Prix wins to her name. It's a very decorated US rider. Jack of Hearts jumped the Young Horse World Championships in Lonican back in 2018. So developed as a young horse over in Europe, and then Margie choosing to purchase it over here and bring it to America, and continuing to grow and build it up to this level. Going clear down to our last line to the Palm Beach double. And then just down to our last oxer. Just picking up one time fault there for Margie Goldstein Ingalls in a time of 74.96. So still waiting on our clear. We have 2 that are on time faults. Margie Goldstein Ingalls is on 1 time fault, and Ansgar Holsker Jr. is on 2 time faults. Next into the ring we have Katie Dinan aboard out of the blue SCF. This is a 10-year-old grey mare out of Verdi. This is a former ride of Shane Sweetnam, bred by Spy Coast Farm. This combination were 2nd in the World Cup qualifier in Washington of this year. So really growing together. Kitty took over the ride from Shane at the end of 2023. And really have had many successes together. Katie, of course, jumped on several Senior Nations Cup teams and competed at the World Cup finals back in 2013. Katie doing a really good job of just keeping her rhythm the whole way around this course. Time allowed is definitely something that people are thinking about. Just robbing the first part of that double but getting away with it. Doing a really good job back to the Arthur Midvet Oxer. Coming nice and tight back to this vertical. Going clear so far down to our last line. Really nice there, giving our first clear around there for Katie Dinan and out of the blue. She was clear in a time of 71.45. So really was concentrating on the time throughout the course, making sure that I was going to catch up to her. Did a really good job there.
On a rider based in Central Florida. Rider with Olympic and World Equestrian Games appearances for New Zealand. And the bride today aboard an 11-year-old Hanoverian gelding.
Sharon Wordley is in next for New Zealand aboard Champion League. This is a 11-year-old black gelding out of Carto 5 and Chrisima. This combination jumped the 4-Star Nations Cup here last year. And the pair spent their summer in Spruce Bennett in Kentucky, jumping up to a 5-star level. Rider, of course, competed at the Beijing Olympic Games and also the World Equestrian Games, and has competed for New Zealand on several occasions on several Nations Cup teams. Coming here to WEF to prepare for the season ahead. show the horse a different ring, getting some experience underneath them at the 4-star level. Really nice so far. Turning back to our big vertical here down to the related line. Just having that vertical down. Riders at that stage are really thinking about the time allowed, thinking how tight they can turn back to that vertical without sacrifice having it down, and just picking up the front part of the double. Also picking up a total of 8 falls there in a time of 71.12.
Fifteenth on course for the first round. It's the USA's Richard Neal. Piloting the 13-year-old
15th on course is the USA's Richard Neal aboard Cadamco LS. This is a 13-year-old bay gelding. This combination picked up top placings in New York and Tryon and WEC this summer. Richard, a seasoned US rider. Just picking up the Ariane vertical at 2. Really nice over the wall. And a really nice flowing canter down to the butterfly double. Just having the second part of the double down. It seemed at the start that line ran super forward, but as the course goes on, you can see riders knowing exactly when they land from that wall, they really need to keep the canter down to the butterfly double. Richard jumped this horse in the 3-star Prix charity during that week. So just stepping up the level now to a 4-star. Just having the chess oxer down there. And then just coming down to our last line, our Palm Beach double, and then down to our equine, Palm Beach Equine Clinic oxer, just having that down also. Giving a total of 20 jumping and 1 time fault there in a time of 74.23.
Israel's Daniel Blumen next with Hummer Z. Israel by Abigail Wexner, New Albany, Ohio.
Next into the ring we have Israel's Daniel Blumen aboard Hummer Z. This gelding is owned by Abigail Wexner. Previous ride of BZ Madden. Daniel taking over the ride back in May of 2024. They jumped the World Cup qualifier both last week in California and also in Toronto. Daniel, of course, jumped in the Paris Olympics this year aboard his longtime partner, Ladriano, as well as competing at 2 other Olympic Games, being a 3-time Olympian and jumping at many World Cup finals. Daniel, a member of the Blumen equestrian family. Family really focused on training and building horses, both here in Wellington and also in New York during the summer. Really nice so far, coming down to our last line here at the palm tree double. Going clear so far. That gives us our second clear. Clear on there in a time of 71.94 for Daniel Blumen and Hummer Z. That's guaranteeing us a jump off here in our BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier.
Alessandra Volpe now, number 19 in the U25 standings. Wins this year across the U.S., Canada, and Europe for Alessandra. She's the owner of her mount today, a 9-year-old mare by Como Full. This is Candy Luck Z, owner Alessandra Volpe.
Next into the ring we have Alessandra Volpe aboard Candy Luck Z. Alessandra is ranked 19th in the U25 standings. This combination having several wins in both Europe and in US this summer. Really consistent pair. This mare is only 9 years old, stepping up to the 4-star level here. Doing a really good job down to the line to the double of verticals. You can see as the rounds go on later in the class, more people or less people are having that double of verticals down, same as the butterfly doubles. People really learning and watching from others to see how to ride these lines. She's coming down to our last line clear here to the palm tree double. Really nice there, giving us another clear round there in a time of 71.65 for Alessandra Volpe and Candy Luck Z. That'll give us 3 so far that are clear after seeing 16 rider and horse combinations.
Argentina's Thomas Joffrey with us now, and he'll get the start this afternoon aboard Thursday. A 10-year-old designer got a stallion by Tyson, owned by Stelly of Sport Horses. Nation's Cup rider for Argentina with top placings in Falconsford this summer. Thomas Joffrey with Thursday.
Next in the ring we have Thomas Joffrey aboard Thursday. This is 10-year-old chestnut stallion out of Tyson. Thomas has competed on Nations Cup teams for Argentina, and these combinations had several top placings over in Europe this summer. Jumped in the 5-star Grand Prix in Brussels. And several other top placings while touring in Europe this summer. Just picking up the back bar of that butterfly oxer and that plank also. That's the first time we've seen the plank come down for today. Walking the course, you may have thought it was something that would catch more people out as they're coming around the bend and trying to make up time. But that's the first time we've seen that come down today. And just picked up the second part of the double verticals also. Just picking up a total of 16 jumping there and 1 time fault there for Thomas Joffrey aboard Thursday.
That tone is for the USA's Tanner Karakin with Kimar Quality Hero. It's in our 3-star Grand Prix winner up in Michigan in August, and the ride for the Sandalwood Farms, Larchmont, New York this afternoon with the 11-year-old Irish sport horse gelding at Kimar Quality Hero, Ovos Quality.
Next into the ring we have USA's Tanner Karakin aboard Kinmare Quality Hero. This is a 11-year-old bay gelding out of OBOS Quality. It's Irish bred, and it also jumped in the Young Horse Championships in Lanaken back in 2019. Tanner took over the ride from Jessica Mendoza back in May of this year. And the pair won a 3-star Grand Prix in Michigan this summer. Tanner, of course, a decorated equitation rider, as well as jumped on Senior Nations Cup for the US. And really just building up a string of horses now. Just having both parts of that double verticals down. Tanner, of course, coming from an equestrian family. And really born into the sport and just building some more time at the FEI level. Picking up a total there of 20 jumping in a time of 72.77.
Egypt's Niall Nassar now and ESI Ali. Niall currently ranked number 33 in the world standings. Winner this year at Spruce Meadows, Greenwich, and Old Salem, piloting for Evergate Stables this afternoon. Aboard a 9-year-old Irish sport horse gelding by Staccato Gold. Egypt's Niall Nassar and ESI Ali are 20th to show for round 1.
Next in the ring we have Egypt's Niall Nasser aboard ESI Ali. This is a 9-year-old bay gelding out of Staccato Gold. And this is an Irish bred gelding, jumped at the Young Horse Championships back in Lanaken in 2022. And this combination were the winners of a 2-star Grand Prix in Greenwich this summer. Niall, of course, an Olympian, as well competed at many World Cup finals. This horse, the two of them just growing together, stepping up to a 4-star level here, and just gaining some experience before this season ahead here at Wellington International. Really nice over the Bainbridge Oxer at 7. And rode the distance down to the double verticals, really, really nice there. Keeping a nice turn back to the vertical there, down to the related line to the Oxer. And then down our last line to the palm tree doubles. And then clear over the last jump. Perfect, that's a clear there in a time of 73.49, just within the time allowed of 74 seconds. But that's giving us our 4th clear now in this BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier. 4 clears so far are Katie Dinan, Daniel Blumen, Alessandro Volpi, and then Niall Nassar joins them.
And owner of his mount joined the cannabis that are doing Hoover, a 10-year-old Dutch form gelding by Cannabis Z.
Next into the ring we have Alberto Machon aboard Joint de Cannabis van de Hoover. This is a 10-year-old bay gelding out of a Cannabis Z. Alberto taking over the ride of this horse in July of this year, as well as winning a 2-star speed in Aachen together. Alberto competed at the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, as well as competing at WEG in Tryon, and has been a Pan Am Games medalist also. So a seasoned rider, getting some experience with a new horse in this ring here in Wellington, preparing for the winter ahead, stepping up to this really good 4-star 155 course build today. Coming down our last line with a clear so far. Really nice there jumping, just picking up the one time fault there in a time of 74.99.
Currently in 6th place on a single time fault.
Just one time fault there, slotting in there with Margie Ingalls, who also picked up a time fault. Just slotting in just below her. A little bit slower.
Slightly faster, about 300ths of a second with Jack of Hearts. 4 clear, 4 more to go before a midway break in the BrainJuice Grand Prix Qualifier. A $65,000 4-star competition, and we are welcoming
We have seen 20 so far. We have 4 left before our first drag break in this BrainJuice Grand Prix Qualifier.
Stallion owned by the S&L Farms. Brianna winner during the Winter Equestrian Festival earlier this year.
Next into the ring, we welcome the USA's Bianca Talmartani. On SNL, Marion V. de Hekenoff. This is a 12-year-old Bray Stallion. This horse competed at the Atlantican in 2018. And then Brianne getting it and taking over the ride and developing it here in the US. Just picking up the first part of that butterfly double. Brianne, of course, a highly decorated US rider, jumping on several Nations Cup teams. Winner of the prestigious American Gold Cup, as well as winning several classes here in Wellington during WEF of 2024. Just having the one fence so far, coming down to our last oxer here. And just picking up the one fence down there at that butterfly double in a time of 73.68 for Brianne Guttal.
Ellie Grimes and Chicago PS. 23rd combination to get the start. Number 41 ranked rider in the U25 standings. A winner this year at Tryon, also a top Grand Prix placings at Traverse City.
Next in the ring we have Hallie Grimes aboard Chicago PS. This is a 12-year-old Chestnut Gelding out of Diablo Blanco. This is a season partnership together. Pick up several placings in Michigan this summer, as well in Tryon. Combination jumped our 3-star during Prix charity, and is now stepping up to jump the 4-star this week. Holly doing a really good job so far. This is a really big horse, so coming down into that double of verticals is super difficult to make sure you fit that in nicely, but she did a really good job. Just important to get nice back to this vertical. Just having it, and luckily having it down. Just coming down to our last line here. Just picking up the back bar there. Just picking up a total of 8 falls jumping there in a time of 72.29.
For Hallie Grimes and Chicago PS, a score of 8. 72.29 that first round time. And Pan Am medalist Alex Granado next with Helios Venenosa. The U.S. rider, Grand Prix winner here 2 weeks ago during the Prix Charity Week. Also 2 Grand Prix wins in Michigan this summer. The Raptor Kisme equestrian, piloting at the 12-year-old by numero uno. Alex Granado and Helios Venenosa.
Next into the ring we have Alex Granado aboard Helios van den Nozenhof. This combination were our winners of our 3-star Grand Prix here 2 weeks ago during Prix Charity. Alex, of course, at Pan Am Games. This combination won 2 classes during Michigan this year and also picking up several top placings. They're definitely one that, if they get into the jump off, they're one to watch. Just picking up the back bar of the butterfly double there. Having last week's off and then coming into this week after the win. Just getting around this Grand Prix qualifier to focus on the rest of the week. Alex doing a really good job down into that double of verticals. You can see the horse just fighting him a little bit, but really keeping himself collected. And then just really nice back to this vertical. Our course builders really built a big technical course. There's not much time to breathe. You just have to constantly be looking at the next jump. And just clear over the last. So just picking up the 4 faults there in a time of 73.24 for Alex Granado.
Second fastest 4 faulter currently at 9 for Alex Granado in the Kismet equestrian entry.
He is our second fastest 4 faulter as of now, so slots him into 9th place. Still just holding up on those 4 clears. This is our last before our drag break. This is Genevieve Meyer aboard My Lord Miles. This is 10-year-old Grey Gelding out of My Lord Cartago. This combination jumped over in Europe this summer, jumping at both 3-star and 4-star level. Genevieve competed at both Aachen and the Brussels Masters. And Genevieve training under Helena Stormans. Jumped here during our 3-star pre-charity week. Was really consistent. Now stepping up here to the 4-star level here at Wellington International. Just having the second part of that double down, unluckily. Genevieve just picking up 8 falls there. And then also 1 on the time for Genevieve Meyer. Genevieve bringing us to our drag break here in our first half of our BrainJuice 4-star Grand Prix qualifier.
Coming here for the $65,000 BrainJuice CSI4 star Grand Prix qualifier. 4 clears to the first 25.
We have 4 clears so far. Which are 4 clear so far, and we still have our second half of our course to come. Kitty Dining going clear, Daniel Blumen also clear, Alessandro Volpi, and Niall Nassar. We're going to take a brief break, and then we'll come back for our second half.
To refresh our riding surface in the international ring, today's $65,000 4-star qualifier sponsored by BrainJuice, the #1 natural daily brain supplement. Proud partner and major sponsor here at Wellington International. You can find BrainJuice products at Wellington International concessions or online at brainjuice.me. Be mindful, be present, turn on your brain. We'll be back underway here shortly. 26 to go for round 1. 4 clear so far.
I'm an athlete, but I don't play with sticks or balls. My equipment breathes. It has a heart and a mind of its own. My equipment has good days and not so good days, and it's my job to be okay with both. Because my equipment works with me, not for me. In the saddle, our hearts sync and we become one. My equipment is my best friend. I'd do anything for my best friend. Ask your veterinarian about Arthromed Vet for joint health.
Having been a rider and showing on the East Coast in the Hunter Jumper Worlds on the A circuit, coupled with my experience as an insurance professional with 30 years in the industry, I'm the lucky one that gets to marry my career with my passion. And at Flagler, I get the resources that I really need to do my job as best as possible. I'm Missy Sullivan, the director of the equine division at Flagler Insurance, and I look forward to helping all of you with your insurance needs.
Bainbridge is a fully integrated family of real estate companies who have developed and acquired more than 43,000 units representing $7.5 billion in transactions since inception. With over 650 associates nationally, Bainbridge engages in virtually every step of the real estate process, from development and construction, acquisition and disposition, to asset management and third-party property management of multifamily real estate. Bainbridge is the 10th largest multifamily developer and the 14th largest multifamily builder in the United States. Our team of experienced and knowledgeable professionals is devoted to creating exceptional living experiences for all of our residents and building lasting, mutually beneficial relationships with our partners and clients. To learn more, visit www.bainbridgecompanies.com.
My first goal when I decided to be a professional is to become like the best horsewoman I can be. It's really important for me to find a balance with my family, with the horses, that is my passion, work with the horses every day to do what I love. I used to have like one passion was the horses, and now I have two with my daughter. So I really want to have this balance in my life. I'm Marie Ecart, I'm a professional show jumper representing France, and I'm Lola's mom. Be mindful, be present, turn on your brain.
Having been a rider and showing on the East Coast in the Hunter Jumper Worlds on the A circuit, coupled with my experience as an insurance professional with 30 years in the industry, I'm the lucky one that gets to marry my career with my passion. And at Flagler, I get the resources that I really need to do my job as best as possible. I'm Missy Sullivan, the director of the equine division at Flagler Insurance, and I look forward to helping all of you with your insurance needs.
Every day, we get up with one thing on our minds: taking care of the horses we love. Safe Choice continues to be your trusted partner in their overall nutrition, supporting a healthy body, shiny coat, and strong top line. And now with Digestive Shield, it supports your horse's gut health and immune system even more, so they look and feel their best. Safe choice, now with Digestive Shield. Shield your horse from the inside out.
There's a gentler side of Florida, just waiting for you to discover it, where America's first resort destination was built and genuine hospitality began. A place with cleaner sands, warmer waters, and fewer crowds. A place different than the rest, one that exceeds, excels, and surpasses all expectation, waiting here just for you. We are the original, the one, the only, the Palm Beaches.
Wellington International would like to say a huge thank you to today's sponsor of our Grand Prix qualifier, BrainJuice. BrainJuice is the #1 daily brain supplement, and is a proud sponsor of Wellington International. You can find BrainJuice products at Wellington International's concessions or online at www.brainjuice.me. Be mindful, be present, and turn on your brain. We'd like to extend a huge thank you to the title sponsor of this week and our Grand Prix sponsor, Arthur Vet. Arthur Vet is a trusted name in veterinary medicine around the world. A joint injection that delivers cutting-edge treatment that improves joint health in horses and dogs, including both early and late stages of synovitis and osteoarthritis. Learn more at www.arthurmid.com. We'd also like to say a huge thank you to our supporting sponsor, Dover Saddlery. Dover Saddlery is a proud sponsor of the ESP annual circuit. Visit their Wellington store or visit them online at www.doversaddle.com/Wellington. Welcome back to Wellington International for our $65,000 BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier. We have a total of 4 clears so far. Katie Dynan aboard Out of the Blue, Daniel Blumen aboard Hummer Z, Alessandro Volpi aboard Candy Lux Z, and Niall Nassar aboard ESI Ali. We have 26 still remaining in the second half of this BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier. The first of those will be Will Simpson aboard Amar.
Gold medalist from the Beijing Olympics with wins in Aiken and
This 11-year-old bay gelding is owned by Elizabeth Phillips. Will took over the ride of this horse back in June of this year. Top 10 finish in a 3-star in Old Salem. Will, of course, a gold medalist at the Beijing Olympics back in 2008 and has competed for the US on several occasions. A very decorated US rider. Will doing a really good job so far. Coming down to our BrainJuice Oxer at 7. And then just really taking a hold down to the double verticals at 8 A and B. Just having the second part of that down. As I said, a newer ride for Will, so just gaining experience together. Bringing this horse up to a 4-star level. Will has plenty of experience of developing horses and bringing them up to the higher to the 4-star and 5-star level. And just coming down our last line there. Just picking up a total of 20 jumping as well as 1 time for Will Simpson aboard Imar.
Charlotte Jacobs up next, one of the top 100 riders in the world. And Charlotte is aboard.
Next into the ring, we have one of our top 100 riders in the world, Charlotte Jacobs, aboard Playboy JTZ.
2 Grand Prix wins at Traverse City this summer, also a 4-star Grand Prix win at Thunderbird this year.
This 9-year-old bay gelding is owned by North Star out of Presley Boy. This combination were 5th to the World Cup qualifier in Traverse City this summer, as well as picking up many top placings while in Michigan. Charlotte had a very successful junior career, jumped her first Senior Nations Cup back in 2022 in Portugal. And since then has jumped on several Nations Cup teams for the US, picking up several wins this summer and also jumping on the Major League Tour as well over the past couple of years, so really seasoned at this level. Charlotte, of course, coming from an equestrian family, really learning to develop young horses and then to produce them into a higher level. Riding this course really well, jumped that double verticals really nicely. And then just conscious of her time, coming back nice and tight to the vertical here. Just unfortunately just having that down. Coming down to our last line to the double vertical to an oxer. And then nice over our last oxer there. Just picking up the 4 false there in a time of 73.21 for Charlotte Jacobs aboard Playboy GTZ.
Time 73.21. Currently our second fastest 4 faulter at 9th place.
Charlotte slots into 9th place there as our second fastest 4 faulter.
Chloe Reed for Team Reed LLC. With our next entry crossover for an 11-year-old Hannah.
Next into the ring with USA's Chloe Reed. aboard crossover 4. This is 11-year-old Bay Gelding owned by Team Reed LLC.
Chloe Reed, numbers to 23, still to go.
It's a long-term partnership for these two. Many top placings in Kentucky this fall, as well as a consistent summer together. Chloe, of course, coming from an equestrian family. And Chloe has represented the US on several Nations Cup teams. Based in Ocala, but coming here to Wellington ahead of the WEF season ahead. Just picking up the back bar of that Arthur Mid-Vet Oxer, coming past the in-gate. Really nice down the last line to the double, and then over the last Oxer there. Just picking up the 4 false there in a time of 71.67 for Chloe Reed and crossover 4.
Just the knockdown at number 9. Mexico's Karime Perez now. And Karime in the top 100 for the U25 standings in the world. Two-time winner at the 2024 Winter Equestrian Festival. And the
next into the ring with Mexico's Karime Perez. This combination having top wins during WEF of last year, as well as Karime being ranked in the top 100 U25s rankings. This combination recently jumped to the 5-star in Monterey before coming back to us here in Wellington. Karime doing a really good job of just collecting down. This is a hot mare, so really just focusing down this line. Just having the first part of that double of verticals down. Just coming back to this related line, and then coming down to our final distance here, standing on 20 fault so far. You can see her just pulling up in a wave of the hand there, choosing to retire there.
Place nomination from the Qualifier Pre-Charity Week, the USA's Wilton Porter with Stern Market Drive.
Next into the ring we have Wilton Porter aboard Stern Mark 3. This combination were 6th place in our pre-charity qualifier 2 weeks ago here at Wellington International. This is a 10-year-old Bay Gelding out of Scotado and Enjoy. This is owned by Sleeping Pea Ranch. This combination spent their summer in Europe. The Porter brothers, both Wilton and Lucas, spend their summers in Europe and then come back here during the winter. The following winter to prepare for WEF. Wilton, of course, has competed for the US on several Nations Cup teams, as well as part of the team gold medalist team back here in 2019 in our Nations Cup, jumping clear for the US. Coming to our last line here. Clear so far down to our double to our Palm Beach Equine Clinic Oxer. Oh, just picking up the back bar there. So a total of 4 falls there for Wilton Porter, just picking up that last jump there in a time of 72.44.
With the 4 at number 13. Elise Oken and Forrest Stahl joining us on course next for the BrainJuice 4-star qualifier. Forrest Stahl, a 10-year-old Oldenburg gelding by Dawn Diorado. Entry from High Hopes Farm at Charlotte, North Carolina. The rider Elise Oken, third in the Grand Prix at the National Horse Show. And with wins this year at Tryon at North Salem and Shanty.
Next into the ring we have the USA's Elise Oken.
Elise Oken and Forrest Stahl.
Aboard High Hopes Farm LLC 4-stall. This is a 10-year-old bay gelding out of Don Dardo. This combination were the winners of a 3-star Grand Prix in Tryon in October and several top placings in Kentucky this year. Also doing a stint in Europe, jumping at Dinard and several other European shows this summer. Last year she jumped at the final of the League of Nations in Abu Dhabi for the US, as well as jumping on several US Senior Nations Cup teams. Just running on 4 falls now, coming down to our Arthemid Fed Oxer at number 9. Doing a really good job down that final line, just picking up the 8 falls there in a time of 72.67 for Elise Oken on Forrest Stahl.
And the 4-stall. 20 still to go, still holding on to 4 clear. Katie Dinan, Daniel Blumen.
We still have 4 clears with 20 left to go. 4 clears being Katie Dinan, Daniel Blumen, Alessandra Volpi, and Niall Nassar. Next we have Ashley Vogel into the ring aboard Otis Blue.
7th place rider in the 5-star Grand Prix at Monterey early in November. The first of our 20 to get the start from May.
This combination jumped during our pre-charity week here at Wellington International. Former ride of trainer Shane Sweetnam. Ashley taking over the ride during the end of the summer. Jumping consistently at Tryon and also in Monterey this fall. Actually doing a really good job so far, coming nice and tight back to the plank. This combination are really just learning together, building that partnership, continuing to grow and learn from each other. Ashley had a super successful junior career. 2 years ago here in WEF, she won our under 25 league, jumping consistently on the tour last year also. Just really working on stepping up with her horses now. You can see her really fighting him coming down to this double. Really nice round there for Ashley. It's giving us a clear in a time of 73.26. So adding another one to our roster for our jump off, giving us our 5th clear for today's BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier. Next into the ring we have Ireland's Andrew Bournes aboard DISA DM42. This is a 10-year-old mare out of Diaro and Diva 42. This combination jumped at our 3-star during Prix charity. Andrew picking up several placings this summer, both at Spruce Meadows and also Michigan and Tryon. Seasoned rider for the Irish team, has competed on several Senior Nations Cup teams for Ireland, based now here in the US, and really working on growing his farm, boat training and riding. Has a really nice string of horses. Just unfortunately picking up the front part of that BrainJuice Oxer and the front part of that double verticals. This combination really getting some experience in this ring today. Riders use this opportunity to gain some experience during the season at WEF, to get their horses into the ring, get everything running again before the season ahead. Can jump them now and give some time off before WEF starts. That's giving us a total of 20 jumping for Andrew Bournes in a time of 73.21.
We see 33 of the 51 expected for today's $65,000 BrainJuice 4-star Grand Prix qualifier. Ashley Vogel recently.
We have seen 33 out of our 51 competitor lineup. We have 5 clear so far. Katie Dinan aboard Out of the Blue, Daniel Blumen on Hummer Z, Alessandro Volpi on Candy Luxy, Niall Nassar aboard ESI Ali, and recently Ashley Vogel aboard Otis Blue.
John O'Regan aboard Manchester. Irish riders showing a 12-year-old Belgian warm-blood gelding, sired by Guillaume de Revel.
Next into the ring we have Ireland's Conor O'Regan aboard Manchester. This is a 12-year-old chestnut gelding. This combination have had several wins together, top placings during the summer and the fall, both in Michigan and in Tryon, as well as touring in New York. Conor, a rider and trainer under CSI4 Equestrian. Really working on developing horses, working with his clients. Runs a really good training facility there. Just unfortunately picking up the second part of that double of verticals. This is Conor's first FEI class back here in Wellington after his summer away from us. So just getting some experience back in the ring. Just coming down to our last line on the 4 faults. and really having to push on that line, but doing a really good job. Just coming home with the 4 faults there, jumping, and then 1 time fault also for Conor Regan and Manchester.
Spanish rider Francisco Goyoaga, piloting for Ashland Farms at today's $65,000 BrainJuice Qualifier. Multiple wins this year at the Kentucky Horse Park and in Traverse City for Francisco.
Next into the ring, we welcome Spain's Francisco Goyaga aboard Staccato Cornet. This is a 9-year-old gelding out of Cornet Obliaski. These combination were 3rd in a 5-star individual round in Tryon this fall. Also, this combination have had several top placings in Michigan and Kentucky this summer. Francisco riding for Ashland Farms with Ken and Emily Smith. Just really riding down to that double of verticals. Coming up really nicely over it. Back to our oxer at number 9. And then just coming back here to this vertical at 10. Unfortunately just having it down. It's kind of a happy medium to find coming back to the vertical of how tight you go to get inside your time while also using your corners. Just unfortunately picking up the 8 falls there for Francisco Goyaga in a time of 72.71.
And 3 and 10, the 2 knockdowns there for Francisco Goyaga with Staccato Cornet. 8 as the score, 72-71. Jimmy Toronto now with Chewbacca HCC. Isaloo Incorporated and Jet Show Stables listed as the ownership of the 12-year-old Holsteiner gelding by Climo. The U.S. rider with wins.
Next into the ring we have USA's Jimmy Toronto aboard Chewbacca HCC. Isaloo Incorporated and Jet Show Stables listed as the owner of this 12-year-old bay gelding. This combination have jumped up to a 5-star level together, touring in New York and in Michigan this summer. And also they competed at the Rolex Grand Prix during WEF of 2024. Jimmy running his own business with wife Danielle at Jet Show Stables, son JJ Toronto having a very consistent summer this year, winning his first National Grand Prix while also being one of the youngest, or being the youngest person to win medal finals. It's a really bright future ahead of JJ. This is Jimmy's first show back with this horse at an FEI level here in this ring. Just coming home on the 8 falls so far and jumping over our last oxer. Just picking up the 8 jumping there, and no time for Jimmy Toronto on Chewbacca HCC.
Vertical at 6 and catching the back rail at 11 as well. It's a score of 8. Jimmy Toronto with Chewbacca HCC. That's up 73-0. Michael Walton now with Blues RW. Year-old of Untouched, and owned by Mia Morano, the U.S. rider Michael Walton with the pair wins.
Next into the ring we have Michael Walton aboard Blues RW. This 11-year-old chestnut gelding is out of Untouched and is owned by Mia Morano. This combination We're sixth in a 4-star Grand Prix in Ocala this summer, but also jumping here at Wellington during our pre-charity week, jumping at the 3-star level. Now today stepping up to the 4-star level for our BrainJuice Grand Prix Qualifier. Really riding that distance down to the butterfly double at A and B. And just making sure he gets nice and straight to that plank. We've only seen that plank come down twice today. Definitely something people might have thought that might come down more often, but riders seem to ride it super well. And then just coming down to the double of verticals. Jumping that super well. Kind of seems to be our bogey fences of today. Seems to be the one that comes down the most, but Michael rode that super well. Just coming down to our last line now. Just picking up the front part of that double, and then just really nicely down to the last oxer. Just having the front rail of that down, also picking up a total of 12 jumping as well as 4 time for Michael Walton aboard Blues or W.
Congratulations, Samuel Perot up next with his own Tiffany, no lead. 12-year-old Self-Francais mare for the Chilean, a 2-time Olympian, 2-time South American Games medalist.
Next into the ring we have Chile Samuel Perot aboard Tiffany Oldie. Samuel is also listed as the owner of this 12-year-old chestnut mare. This combination were winners of a 3-star welcome stake in Kentucky and also had a consistent tour in Tryon. Samuel also being a 2-time Olympian, as well as a team bronze medalist at a South American Games. So a decorated rider, definitely has been around the block, really experienced with these horses. All of his horses seem to ride a little bit hot, but he manages them super well. Always has a really light hand at the butt of the jump. Just really trying to collect him down. Collect this mare down to the double of verticals. And then back to this line. Our course build is really built in a way that there's not much time to take. All the jumps come up quite fast. Everything's nice and flowing. Really 4 distances down. Really nice there, clear round in a time of 73.78. So he adds to our clear round list as of now. That's giving us 6 clears so far. He will join Katie Dynan, Daniel Blumen, Alessandra Volpi, Niall Nassar, Ashley Vogel, and Samuel Pro. That's giving us a total of 6. That's 4 we saw before our drag break and now 2 after. But still 11 left to show. Next into the ring we have USA Sloan Coles aboard Ninja JW Vanda Moosenhoff. Ninja Group is listed as our owners of this mare. It's 11-year-old bay mare out of Elvas, Peru. This combination were winners of a 2-star Grand Prix in Tryon this fall, as well as second in our 3-star Grand Prix back in Silo Ridge, and really had a consistent summer together, jumping up to the 5-star level at Michigan. Sloan being a really consistent rider. Also working on developing some young horses. Jumping some of her younger horses at Young Jumper Finals in Michigan this summer. Doing a really good job around this 4-star Grand Prix qualifier so far, coming down to our last line. Just having perfect, really nice there. Just picking up the one-time fault there for Sloan Coles. Clear jumping just one time in a time of 74.18. So she is our fastest of her our one faulters. Also on one fault is Margie Goldstein-Ingalls and Alberta Moshon.
This is Argentina's Luis Pedro Peterman with Vasco 109. And the 9-year-old German sport horse Geldin.
Next into the ring we've Luis Pedro Baraban aboard Vasco 109. This is a 9-year-old chestnut gelding.
Silver medalist as well as the first of 12 remaining.
This is our first of 12 remaining in our BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier. Luis competed at the World Equestrian Games back in Tryon and was also a team silver medalist at the Pan Am Games. Luis doing a really good job so far, just on those 8 falls coming down to the double of verticals. Just having that vertical down coming back from our Arthemid vets. And then down to our last line, the double. And then coming down to our oxer, our Palm Beach Equine Clinic oxer. Just picking up the 12 jumping there and also a time fault in a time of 74.28.
Racing 40, we have 6 clear at this point. Lazy Gilbertson with us now aboard an entry owned by Seabrook LLC, Lake Forest, Illinois. The rider with Grand Prix wins it this year at the Kentucky Horse Park at Traverse City.
Next into the ring, we've the USA's Lacey Gilbertson aboard Lulu MPSC. This is a 9-year-old bay mare. Seabrook LLC listed as the ownership. Lacey jumping this mare in the National Grand Prix last week here during our charity week. This combination were winners of a 3-star Grand Prix in Kentucky this fall. And the pair also having a super successful summer, both at Kentucky and also Michigan. Lacey picking up several wins on her tour this summer, as well as a 3-star Grand Prix aboard her other Mount Hollywood in Michigan. Lacey has really developed a really nice string of horses for herself, and really nice so far coming down to this last line. Really nice there, clear around there for Lacey Gilbertson in a time of 72.57. That's giving us a total of 7 clears so far, with our 9 remaining.
First is the U.S. rider Natalie Dean, number 9 in the World Tour U25 standings.
Next into the ring we have Natalie Dean. She is ranked number 9 in the U25 rankings. She is aboard Concalma, owned by Marigold Sport Horses LLC. This pair jumped in our 3-star during our Prix charity week. Had a successful summer in Europe together, cleared a 2-star level in Saint-Tropez. Natalie, of course, training under Ben Maher. Natalie recently jumped over in Riyadh at the Global Champions Tour final, then coming back to us here in Wellington. Top placings on the tour over there this summer. A really consistent rider. Really does a good job with these horses. Just unfortunately picking up the front part of that double of verticals. And then just a good stretch over the Arthur Midvet Oxer down by our in-gate. And then just coming down to our last line on that 8 fault. Just having the vertical turning back from the Arthur Midvet Oxer down also. A total there of 8 jumping for Natalie Dean, and in a time of 73.37.
Michael Morrissey up next for today's $65,000 BrainJuice 4-star qualifier. And the mount for Michael Morrissey, an 11-year-old Dutch from the Gelding in Cento SA, sired by Cardento 933.
Next into the ring we have the USA's Michael Morrissey aboard Incento SA. This combination were 3rd in the American Gold Cup this summer in Michigan. This gelding is owned by Ash Atkinson. It's an 11-year-old grey gelding out of Cordado. This combination really learning and growing together, jumped at a high level in Michigan this summer, picking up a clear round in the American Gold Cup. And now coming back to Wellington to build before the season ahead. Michael really hoping to jump under the lights this winter. Jumping at that top level again. Really nice so far, coming down to our last line on that clear round. Just unfortunately just picking up that front bar of that oxer of the second part of the double. Coming home there on 4 faults in a time of 73.00, so 73 flat for Michael Morrissey on Incento. Still on our 7 clears as of now, with 8 left to go in the first round of our $65,000 BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier.
The mount became Barrington, a 9-year-old Dutch-bred gelding by Grand Slam.
Next into the ring we welcome Kent Farrington aboard Cadans. This is a 9-year-old bay gelding out of Grand Slam. A previous ride of Tiffany Foster Ken taking over the ride in fall of this year, jumping in both Kentucky and Toronto. Kent, of course, a former world number 1, jumped at the boat, jumped at the Rio Olympics, helping USA earn team silver, and a highly decorated US rider. And another clear there in a time of 71.81. Kent adds to the list of our 7 already clears, giving us our 8th clear. He's joining Katie Dynan, Daniel Blumen, Alessandra Volpi, Niall Nassar, Ashley Vogel, Samuel Perot, Lacey Gilbertson. And now we have Kent Farrington.
Luis Fernando Larrazabal now. A Venezuelan rider took first and third in our Grand Prix last week here in the International Ring. Piloting for Leanne Aplin with the 9-year-old Mare Baroness Baluz Balin. First of 7, so to go for round 1.
Our first of 7 left in our first round here at the BrainJuice Grand Prix Qualifier is Luis Fernando Larrazabal aboard Baroness. Luis taking first and third in our Grand Prix here under the lights last week. This is a 9-year-old bay mare out of Baluz Balina. This combination were very successful during WEF last year, picking up several wins. Luis also competed at the Paris Olympics this year, and has also been on several Senior Nations Cup teams. Also a very fast rider, so he's definitely one, if he's going into the jump off, he's one that you want to watch. He's doing a really good job so far. Coming down to the Arthmid Vets Oxer on a clear so far. Giving number 10 a little bit of a rub, but getting away with it. And then coming down to our last line, over the Palm Beach Double and over the Palm Beach Equine Clinic Oxer. Just picking up 1 time fault there for Luis Fernando Larrazabal in a time of 74.16. So just outside the time allowed and just giving him the 1 time fault.
The Classic Grand Prix winner, Germany's Renee Dittmer, now with Corsica. 11-year-old Holsteiner mare by Connor 48. 3 times in the top 10 at the Royal this year. Also 5th place rider in the Big 5 start up at Greenwich in September. First of our 6 still to go for round 1.
Next we welcome Germany's Renee Dietmar into the ring aboard Corsica X. This is 11-year-old bay mare out of corner 48. This combination won the 5-star Grand Prix at the Hampton Classic this year. Also jumping the World Cup qualifier up in Toronto. Renee being a seasoned rider for Germany, jumping on several Nations Cup teams. And then just coming back to us here in Wellington after his tour both in Europe and in North America before the WEF season ahead. Doing a really good job so far, coming back to our vertical at 10, down to our oxer 11. Really nice at last line, giving us a clear jumping, but unfortunately just picking up that one time fault in a time of 74.01. So just outside our time allowed for René Dietmar.
8 qualified for the jump off, 5 remaining for round 1.
We have 5 remaining in round 1. 8 have gone clear, and we have
That'll take us to a rider with wins
5 people that stand on one time fall. So definitely something that people have been looking at.
And today taking the ride for Peter Howard and Laura Sudro. Lebanon's Jadana.
Next, we welcome Lebanon's Jadana into the ring on Caro W. This is a 12-year-old bay gelding out of Castellan II, out of an Annabella mare. This combination jumped the World Cup qualifier in Toronto this fall, and as well as followed the Major League Tour, picking up several top 10 finishes. Doing a really good job so far. You see not wearing a martingale, just keeping that nice loose rein. Trains with US gold Olympic medalist Leslie Howard. So a really seasoned trainer there, really growing and learning together. Just picking up that vertical at 10 also, so standing on 8 falls now, coming down to our last line. Just really had to push down that line to get over that oxer. Picking up a total of 8 falls there and 2 time falls, unfortunately. So a total of 10 falls there for Jadana in a time of 75.43.
Clear, 4 remaining.
We have 8 clears so far, with 4 remaining in our $65,000 BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier.
And 11-year-old Dutch warm-blooded gelding. Rider replacing this year, Wecco Cala and at Live Oak. And the first of our 4 still to go. Ecuador's Ana Cristina Gansauer, I Denzel, then at Berlin Hall.
Next into the ring, we welcome Anna Cristina Ganzare aboard Denzel V. H. Mulanoff. This is a 11-year-old bay gelding out of Denzel Vada Mulanoff. This combination were double clearing a 3-star 2-phase in Traverse City this summer. They just began their FEI tour together in February of this year, and had a good summer jumping at about a 3-star and a 4-star level. So a relatively new partnership. And they're doing a really good job. You could just see him a little bit spooky off the side, off those banners at the side of the ring. Just keeping him collected. And I competed at the 2023 Pan American Games. So seasoned rider, jumped to the senior level. Just picking up both parts of that double of verticals there. You could see he just was fighting with her a little bit down that line. Just really working on getting him around that bend to this big vertical at 10. Coming down to our last line at the Palm Trees double at A and B, and then to our Palm Beach Equine Clinic Oxer at 13, just picking up a total of 8 jumping falls and also 7 time falls there.
Captain Brian Cornon now with Armick. Captain Cornon sharing ownership of the 15-year-old Oldenburg gelding with Mr. and Mrs. Stiller. Finishing in the top 10 at this year's Spruce Medals and at the National Horse Show. The first of our three remaining for round one, the USA's Captain Brian Cornon with Armick.
Next into the ring, we welcome Brian Cornon aboard Armick. This is a 15-year-old bay gelding out of Hermitage II. Brian and Mr. and Mrs. Stillers listed as the owners of this gelding. This combination jumped the World Cup qualifier in Traverse City this summer, and we're also a podium finish at a 3-star Grand Prix in New York. Brian, of course, has competed for the US at a Senior Nations Cup level. Just coming down to our number 9 there, standing on 8 falls so far. Really nice job back to the big vertical at 10. Unfortunately, just not getting the distance he wanted into the first part of the double. Just choosing to circle, regather himself. Reapproaching back to the palm trees double here at 12A and B. And then just cantering down to the Oxer at 13, just having that one down also. Just picking up a total of 16 jumping falls there for Brian Cornon, as well as 14 time falls.
87.81 has 16 jumping
in a time of 87.81.
So you're happy, and Oscar A. First of our two remaining combinations. Oscar is a 10-year-old Belgian warm-blooded stallion by Harley, owned by Joanne Sloan Allen.
Next into the ring, we welcome Sarah Happy aboard Oscar's A. This 10-year-old bay stallion is out of Harley and a Jonka A mare. The stallion is owners are listed as Joan Sloan Allen. This combination jumped during our 3-star pre-charity week here. They were 4th in a 2-star welcome in Tryon. Sarah took over the ride from Samuel Dahan during WEF of 2024, with the horse jumping the WEF Nations Cup last year with Samuel Dahan. So relatively new ride. Had a successful summer together. Sarah is a rider and trainer at Sarah Happy LLC, doing a really good job of with her clients, training and producing some really nice horses. Coming down to our last line here, clear so far. Time may be an issue. Just coming over the last Oxer there. Really nice clear jumping, but unfortunately just picking up 4 time falls there for Sarah Happy on Oscar's A.
And our final for the first round is the USA Series Siegel with Boreal de Fontcombe. The 13-year-old self-Francais mare Baptiste Boyle by Horatio Street Ventures, Leamington, New Jersey. In the month of October, placing a 5th at a Grand Prix, the Tryon International Equestrian Center, and a 3-star Grand Prix.
Next into the ring, we welcome our last competitor in this $65,000
Our final for round 1.
BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier is Sarah Siegel aboard Bornel da Fondocum. This is a 13-year-old chestnut mare out of Tinka's Boy. Sarah began riding this horse during WEF of 2024 at an FEI level, taking over the ride from Marie Pellegrin, who competed at FEI level with this horse in Europe. This combination were third in a 3-star welcome stake in New York this summer. Sarah's competed for the US on several Senior Nations Cup teams, as well as picking up several wins this season with her different mounts. Just unfortunately picking up that vertical at number 10. Down to our last related line to the Palm Tree double, down to our Palm Beach Equine Clinic Oxer. Just picking up the 4 jumping falls there and the 2 time falls there for Sarah Siegel, giving us a time of 75.23.
Brings us to the end of round 1 in today's $65,000 BrainJuice 4-star Grand Prix qualifier. 8 going clear, 4 on the front side of the ring, and 4 on the back side of the ring.
That is the end of our first round for our $65,000 BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier. We have a total of 8 clears going into our jump-off round here. Kitty Dynan aboard Out of the Blue, Daniel Blumen on Hummer Z, Alessandra Volpi on Candy Luxie, Niall Nassar on ESI Ali, Ashley Vogel on Otis Blue, Samuel Perot on Tiffany Vandola, Lacey Gilbertson on Lulu MPSC, and Kent Farrington aboard Candons. We are going to do a quick touch-up here of the ring before our jump-off, get rid of some of our jumps, and then we let tractors in, redo the surface before we welcome our jump-off riders back in for our jump-off here.
Back underway here in just a few minutes. 8 to jump off. And today's $65,000 4-star Grand Prix qualifier sponsored by BrainJuice.
I'm an athlete, but I don't play with sticks or balls. My equipment breathes. It has a heart and a mind of its own. My equipment has good days and not so good days, and it's my job to be okay with both. Because my equipment works with me, not for me. In the saddle, our hearts sync and we become one. My equipment is my best friend. I'd do anything for my best friend. Ask your veterinarian about Arthromed Vet for joint health.
Having been a rider and showing on the East Coast in the Hunter Jumper Worlds on the A circuit, coupled with my experience as an insurance professional with 30 years in the industry, I'm the lucky one that gets to marry my career with my passion. And at Flagler, I get the resources that I really need to do my job as best as possible. I'm Missy Sullivan, the director of the equine division at Flagler Insurance, and I look forward to helping all of you with your insurance needs.
BrainJuice is a fully integrated family of real estate companies who have developed and acquired more than 43,000 units representing $7.5 billion in transactions since inception. With over 650 associates nationally, BrainJuice engages in virtually every step of the real estate process, from development and construction, acquisition and disposition, to asset management and third-party property management of multifamily real estate. BrainJuice is the 10th largest multifamily developer and the 14th largest multifamily builder in the United States. Our team of experienced and knowledgeable professionals is devoted to creating exceptional living experiences for all of our residents and building lasting, mutually beneficial relationships with our partners and clients. To learn more, visit www.bainbridgecompanies.com.
My first goal when I decided to be a professional, it's to become like the best horsewoman I can be. It's really important for me to find a balance with my family, with the horses, that is my passion. Work with the horses every day to do what I love. I used to have like one passion was the horses, and now I have two with my daughter. So I really want to have this balance in my life. I'm Marie Ecart, I'm a professional show jumper representing France, and I'm Lola's mom. Be mindful, be present, turn on your brain.
Having been a rider and showing on the East Coast in the hunter jumper worlds on the A circuit, coupled with my experience as an insurance professional with 30 years in the industry, I'm the lucky one that gets to marry my career with my passion. And at Flagler, I get the resources that I really need to do my job as best as possible. I'm Missy Sullivan, the director of the equine division at Flagler Insurance, and I look forward to helping all of you with your insurance needs.
Every day, we get up with one thing on our minds: taking care of the horses we love. Safe Choice continues to be your trusted partner in their overall nutrition, supporting a healthy body, shiny coat, and strong top line. And now with Digestive Shield, it supports your horse's gut health and immune system even more, so they look and feel their best. Safe Choice, now with Digestive Shield. Shield your horse from the inside out.
There's a gentler side of Florida, just waiting for you to discover it, where America's first resort destination was built and genuine hospitality began. A place with cleaner sands, warmer waters, and fewer crowds. A place different than the rest, one that exceeds, excels, and surpasses all expectation, waiting here just for you. We are the original, the one, the only, the Palm Beaches.
Welcome back to Wellington International for our jump off of our BrainJuice $65,000 Grand Prix qualifier. BrainJuice, the #1 natural daily supplement, is a proud partner of Wellington International. You can find BrainJuice products at Wellington International's concessions or online at www.brainjuice.me. Be mindful, be present, turn on your brain. We'd also like to thank our title sponsor of this week, ArthurMedVet. ArthurMedVet is a trusted name in veterinary medicine around the world. A joint injection that delivers cutting-edge treatment that improves joint health in horses and dogs, including both early and late stages of synovitis and osteoarthritis. Learn more at www.arthurmed.com. We'd also like to extend a huge thank you to our supporting sponsor, Dover Saddlery. Dover Saddlery is a proud sponsor of the ESP annual circuits. Visit their Wellington store or visit them online at www.doversaddlery.com/Wellington. We are just about to start our jump off here in our BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier. We have 8 going into our jump off, starting off with Katie Dinan, then Daniel Blumen, Alessandro Volpi, Niall Nassar, Ashley Vogel, Samuel Perot, Lacey Gilbertson, and last will go Kent Farrington. The jump off course will begin over 15, which is a new oxer in this round, then down to our Brain Java vertical at 16, which is also new in this round, rolling back to number 7 to our BrainJuice oxer, rolling back to, or straight down to the double of verticals at 8A and B, around to the ArthurMedVet oxer at 9, turning back to our big vertical at 10, and then a gallop down to 12B. So 12A has been removed, and then just 12B remaining. First in will be Katie Dinan aboard Out of the Blue SCF. So Katie coming down to our new oxer here at number 15. And just keeping a nice canter down to the vertical at 16. Having to go around that butterfly oxer back to 7. And then it's careful here because you have to really watch coming down to the double of verticals, also on a slight downhill. Really nice back to the ArthurMedVet oxer. Keeping tight to the big vertical at 10 and just letting horse open up a little down to 12B. Really nice there, giving us a double clear in a time of 41.36 for Katie Dinan and Out of the Blue. Really nice, tidy around there, kept her canter the whole time, really smooth. It'll be interesting to see what other people choose to do, some inside turns that people may choose to take. Course Builder decided to leave a few jumps in the ring, so people are nearly forced to go around them instead of going inside them. So it'll be interesting to see what other riders choose to do in this jump off. Next we have Israel's Daniel Blumen aboard Hummer Z. A newer partnership for Daniel, but has jumped several World Cup qualifiers, jumped up to 5-star level. Newer but very seasoned together. Daniel coming over the oxer at 15. Nice open down to the Brain Java vertical. Going around the butterflies and inside the Kubota just like Katie did. Seems a little bit tighter from the tracks and just really having to hold down to the double of verticals. Opening up his canter but keeping the contact to the ArthurMedVet's oxer. Nice and tight back to that big vertical at 10 and then really opening up his canter back to 12B. Really nice there, clear in a time of 38.02. So just a little over 3 seconds faster than Katie Dinan. Still doing a similar track than she did. There was no inside turns that he did that she chose not to do. just had a bit more of pace, picking up that few seconds there.
The callback order, Alessandra Volpe of Woodstock, California, with her own candy.
So Daniel Blumen slots into the lead on 38.02. Next into the ring we have Alessandra Volpe aboard Candy Luxie. These two had several wins in Europe this summer. Coming at a slight angle to that first oxer and just flowing down to the Brain Java vertical at 16. Really swift around that butterfly oxer. Nice shot to the BrainJuice oxer. Really opening up her canter now to the Arthur Midvet's oxer. I would think a little bit wider than Daniel, but she really made some time up from the double verticals down to the oxer. And really nice canter down to the last jump, going double clear also in a time of 38.73, so just slotting behind Daniel. Daniel was 38.02, Alessandra Volpe picking up a time of 38.73. Our fourth combination is walking into the ring. Ayal Nassar aboard ESI Ali. This combination have picked up wins before. Ayal being a fast rider. Interesting to see what he chooses to do here. It's a very open jump off course, not many tight turns, so really concentrating on galloping and keeping that swift movement around the course. Really nice over the new oxer in this jump off fence 15. Very tight around there to the BrainJuice oxer at 7. You can see the hoof tracks is a little bit tighter. Just seeing how much he opens up here. It's kind of a catch-22 if you open up a lot down to that Arthur Midvet's oxer. There's only so tight you can go back. I'm really opening up down to that last oxer. Clear, close. Clear in a time of 38.21. So our top three now are all within the first, or all within the same second. Daniel Blumen is on 38.02. Ayal Nassar slots into second place on 38.21. And Alessandra Volpe is on third place on 38.73. And then Kitty Dinan is in fourth in a time of 41.36.
Ashley Vogel now for VoQuest LLC with the 10-year-old gelding Otis Blue.
Next we have Ashley Vogel for VoQuest LLC aboard Otis Blue. Ashley coming at a nice distance into that first oxer. Just opening him up a little bit, but keeping that contact down to the Brain Java vertical. Nice and swift. Back to the BrainJuice oxer. This horse is very scopy and delays a little bit in the air, so she might miss out in a few seconds in that. But so far, a really, really nice round. Nice and tight back to that vertical, and then just lets him float away down to this oxer 12B. Really nice there. Clear in a time of 41.79. That slots her into fifth place, just below Katie Dinan, who in a time of 41.36. Our leader as of now, with our 3 remaining, is Daniel Blumen in a time of 38.02. Niall Nassar is in second place with a time of 38.21. And then Alessandra Volpe's in third with a time of 38.73. Katie Dinan slots into fourth in a time of 41.36. And Ashley Vogel is in fifth place in a time of 41.79. Next, we welcome Samuel Perot. Samuel is a seasoned rider, but also a very fast rider, so it'll be interesting to see what he does here. As I said, this is a jump-off course that is all about making up time on the ground. There's not that many tight turns, all just about keeping the canter, keeping a rhythm, really galloping where you can. Unfortunately, just picking up that second part of that double. It's like a catch-22 with that. And then just picking up that front part of the Arthur Midvet Oxer. And then just choosing to wave of the hand there for Samuel Perot. Just choosing to retire.
The hand, Samuel Perot retires in the jump off with Tiffany Dolly. Two left to compete. Lacey Gilbertson will show next over the jump off course.
We have 2 left in our jump off. Lacey Gilbertson being the first of those 2. Aboard Seabrook LLC's Lulu MPSC.
Target's out 38.02. Daniel Blumen leads.
You can see Lacey just looking at a few of her track. Back to that last Oxer. Seeing where she can make time. And then just really opening up her canter now before she comes to our jump number 1, which is our Palm Beach Sports Oxer at 15. It's a big vertical also at fence number 16. So it's important to open up your canter but also keep that contact. Really nice turn back to the BrainJuice Oxer at 7. It's really having to hold. Oh, just unfortunately having that second part of the double down. And then just over the Arthur Midvet. Back over the vertical. A nice canter down to 12B. Just the 4 falls there in a time of 39.58 for Lacey Gilbertson aboard Lulu MPSC. That slots her into 6th place as of now, with our 1 remaining. Our last to go in this BrainJuice $65,000 Grand Prix qualifier jump off will be US Olympian Kent Farrington aboard his 9-year-old Cadence.
Daniel Blumen leads with Hummer Z. The time to beat is 38.02.
Daniel Blumen stands in the lead and a time of 38.02. Again, getting a nice angle to that jump number 1. Inside the Kubota back to the BrainJuice Oxer. And then just really taking a hold down to the double verticals. Giving a little bit of rub, but it's still up. And then just opening up his canter back to the Arthur Midvet's Oxer. Tight, really tight turn back to that vertical. Then just opening up his canter past the gazebo. Over, just having the last jump down there for Kent Farrington. Just 4 falls there in a time of 37.17. So did have our time of our winner, Daniel Blumen. But unfortunately just picking up the 4 falls at the last jump there for Olympian Kent Farrington. So our winner of today's BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier will be Daniel Blumen.
And ESI Ali taking second place honors. Alessandra Volpe in third with her own Candy La Z. We'll get our top three back here in just a moment for a presentation. The $65,000 BrainJuice four-star qualifier. Continuing with the results, it's fourth award for Katie Dynan and out of the Blue SCF. Fifth place honors going to Ashley Vogel with Otis Blue.
With our 8 into the jump off, we had 5 double clears. Both Ken Farrington and Lacey Gilbertson having a fence in the jump off, and Samuel Perot choosing to retire in the jump off.
Ninth with Corsica, 10th for Luis Fernando Larrazabal and Baroness. 11th for Sloan Coles and Ninja, J.W. Van der Merhuva, Margingo rounding off the ribbons at 12th with Jacob.
Our winner of today's $65,000 BrainJuice 4-star Grand Prix qualifier is Daniel Blumen aboard Hammer Z. Niall Nassar takes second place aboard ESI Ali. Alessandra Volpe takes third aboard Candy Luck Z. Katie Dynan takes fourth on Out of the Blue SCF. Fifth goes to Ashley Vogel on Otis Blue. Sixth to Kent Farrington aboard Candon. And Lacey Gilbertson stands in seventh on Lulu MPS. And then Samuel Perot goes into eighth. That concludes our $65,000 BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier. Thank you everybody for joining us for our BrainJuice $65,000 Grand Prix qualifier. BrainJuice, the #1 natural daily brain supplement, is a proud partner of Wellington International. You can find BrainJuice products at Wellington International's concessions or online at www.brainjuice.me. Be mindful, be present, turn on your brain. We'd also like to thank our title sponsor of this week, ArthurMed Vet. ArthurMed Vet is a trusted name in veterinary medicine around the world. A joint injection that delivers a cutting-edge treatment that improves joint health in horses and dogs, including both early and late stages of synovitis and osteoarthritis. Learn more at www.arthurmid.com. We'd also like to thank our supporting sponsor, Dover Saddlery. Dover Saddlery is a proud sponsor of the ESP annual circuits. Visit their store at Wellington or visit them online at www.doversaddlery.com/Wellington. Thank you everybody for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow for our Dover Saddlery 4-star speed. So please join us tomorrow and we will be covering that. Thank you very much.
second off of our winning time in today's $65,000 BrainJuice Grand Prix qualifier. Now presenting to our second place rider here, Niall Nassar with CSI4, 38.21, 2/10 of a second off of our winning pace for the Egyptian rider, currently ranked number 33 in the world to take the red rosette here this afternoon. Is Israel's Daniel Blumen as our winner here today. Number 28 in the world standings with a ride for Abigail Wexner of New Albany, Ohio with Hummer Z. A 10-year-old Dutch-bred gelding by Harley, double clear, winning jump off time 38.02. Hey, congratulations, Alessandra Volpe, the third place finish today with her own Candy Luck Z. Congratulations to Egypt's Niall Nassar with CSI4 on the second place honors. And it's Israel's Daniel Blumen with the blue ribbon today aboard Hummer Z owned by Abigail Wexner.